Welcome to AT Math Academy. Topic for today is rational functions. So rational functions are the functions which are of the form P by Q. So anything of the form P by Q is called a rational function. And here I'm going to show you a function f of x is equal to 3 by 4x minus 6. So this is of the form P by Q, which is numerator by denominator. So it is a rational function. And the question for today is, what is the domain value for this function? So what is a domain and what is a range? Domain is the input values which we give for the function. Here for the function, if you see, this function has a variable called x. Here x is the variable, so it can have different values. So for the domain we can take different x values. So input values would be different values of x, and range of the function is whenever you substitute the input value of x and you get the value of the function f of x for the input values, which means the input values are nothing but the domain. For all the domain values, whenever you substitute in the function, you get the output value, which is called range. So this is the output result. So for this particular function, we are going to find out the domain value. So we can take x equal to any value like -1, -2, 1, 2, and fractional values 0, and any value of x can be substituted here in this function, and we can get the value of range for this function f of x. So I should be finding out the domain value. So we should be looking for the value of x for which the function becomes undefined. For that, if we equate the denominator to 0, then the denominator here is 4x minus 6. So whenever we equate this denominator is equal to 0, then the value of this function becomes f of x is 3 by 0, which is anything divided by 0 is infinity, and it is called undefined function, and it does not have no range for this particular x value for 4x minus 6 equal to 0. So I need to find out the x value for which this function is becoming infinity. So in order to do so, we are making the function denominator 4x minus 6 equal to 0, which is 4x is equal to minus 6. When it goes to the opposite side, it becomes plus 6, and x here is 6 by 4, which is 3 over 2, which is 1.5. So when x value is 1.5, this function value becomes f of x becomes undefined for x equal to 1.5. So the domain value would be, domain is x not equal to 1.5, which means x can be any value but not 1.5. So for all values of x, this function has different output results, which is called range, and it gets the values. But when x is equal to 1.5, this function is going to be undefined. So this is how you find out the domain value. So rational functions are of the form p by q, numerator over denominator. This is our function f of x equal to 3 by 4x minus 6, which is of the form p by q. And x here is the variable. So variable means it can have varied values like -1, -2, 1, 2, 0 and 1 by 2, 3 by 4, anything. So I can take different x values and substitute in this function and get the values for each x value. So the input x values are called the domain, and the output values that I get for the function when I substitute the input values are called the range. And I need to find out the domain of the function, which means that x can have any value, but it cannot have only one value, for which this function is becoming undefined. So this function becomes undefined when this denominator value becomes 0. 3 by 0 gives infinity. So I need to find out this denominator. 4x minus 6 is equal to 0. 4x equal to 6, when it goes to the other side it becomes 6, and x equal to 6 by 4, which is x equal to 2 times 3 and 2 times 2. 3 by 2, x equal to 1.5. So for the value of x equal to 1.5, this denominator is becoming 0 and the function is becoming undefined. So x can have any values other than 1.5. So the domain of this function is x is not equal to 1.5. X is not equal to 1.5 is the domain for this function. So this is how you find out the domain of the function. Hope you all like my video, and please subscribe to AT Math Academy and enjoy doing math at AT. Thank you all for taking time to watch my video.